Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, here on a Wednesday night for the BAM Racing Videos Late Model Series, presented by Crooked Line Short Track Oval Racing. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I know you're expecting to hear the fine voice of Tanner Marr this evening. However, Tanner experiencing a little computer issues, not able to broadcast tonight. Gonna try and see if he's rectified the issue by racing this evening. So, we're taking over the reins tonight, and we're going to be putting on the show. About 3.5 minutes here in practice. Again, normally I'd be out on track tonight, but I'm going to try and give you guys a good broadcast here tonight. Chris Carroll right now fastest on the board. You see him going out on track, get a few extra laps in here before practice is over. He set a best time here of a 22.07. The next person behind him is the number 68 of Aaron Raymond with a 22.17. Aaron Raymond on pit road right now. Chris Carroll out there, like I said, getting a few extra practice laps in. He's got, looks like the 14 of Chris Paul Hamus right behind him. Chris Paul Hamus currently sitting 15th on the board. A lot of drivers out here tonight. I'm showing 24 late models here at USA International Speedway, I might add. About 2.5 minutes left here in practice, ladies and gentlemen. Again, the music you're listening to is provided by Mullet Music Productions on YouTube. Go check out Joshua Rutherford's stuff on YouTube. Give him a subscription, like a couple of his videos, we greatly appreciate it. Also, we'll be performing, as always, the National Anthem this evening, here actually very shortly. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go ahead and head down trackside. So, if you could, please rise and remove your hats for tonight's National Anthem. Thank you very much, Joshua Rutherford, for, again, a great rendition of our National Anthem. Practice is wrapping up, ladies and gentlemen. Only a few seconds here, and these guys are going to be going into qualifying. So, who will be one of the first drivers to head out on track? Showing Chris Carroll at number 97. He's going to go out and set his lap times right away. Using all the racetrack here in 3 and 4. Going to cut it down, coming out of turn number 4, straighten out that corner as much as possible, get as much speed as he can here to take the green flag and start lap 1. Oh, getting loose there through the center of 1 and 2. Nice save by the number 97. Down the back straightaway. He's going to have to improve on his second lap now. As you see right here, he knows he's going to go straight to the top of the racetrack, diming that corner off once again. Get a better run here and try it one more time. White flag in the air. Got a better 1 and 2 that time. Didn't get the car sideways at all. Looks good here down the back straightaway. Right now, Brian Zimmerman on provisional pole with a 22.20. Chris Carroll coming out of turn number 4 and across the line. Only good enough for second, a 22.23. So Brian Zimmerman on provisional pole right now. Take a look at Derek Stanley out there in that number 22 machine. Cross the line for his second lap here. First lap at 22.42, second lap at 22.40. Good enough for 7th position on the board. Scott Smith finishes up his qualifying run as well. 22.99 for the number, or so I'm sorry, 22.60 for the number 53, Scott Smith. Wesley Whitfield in the 07 is out on track just at his first time. Good enough for 10th. Now getting bumped down the scoring board here. First lap at 22.55 for the 07. Into turns 3 and 4 for the final time here on his second lap. Across the line, he's going to go a little bit quicker here with a 22.39. Good enough for 8th position on the board. Right now, Brian Zimmerman still holds on to provisional pole as Bill Gross just goes second fastest with a 22.22. Still has 1 lap to go. Can he improve? We're going to keep an eye on him here and see what happens coming out of turn number 4 and across the line for the number 12. That was a little bit slower. It was about 2/10 slower that lap at 22.41, so does not improve. Holding on to second position right now, though. Steven Johnson in the number 13 out on track. Looks like no time on his first lap. Must have scraped the wall. Let's see what he gets here on his second. Across the line for Steven Johnson. Good enough for 11th position at 22.40. Steven Johnson sitting 11th. Brian Zimmerman still on provisional pole. Brody Mears out there in the number 72. Or I'm sorry, I guess the number 2. 72 on timing and scoring 2 on the late model. Out of turn 4 here across the line for his first lap. Good enough for 18th position, 22.76. And out of turn number 4 and across the line for the number 72, Brody Mears. We're going to call him the 72. Bumps up a couple of positions there into 15th for a 22.50 for Brody Mears. So it looks like everybody who wanted to take a time has taken a time. A few drivers not qualifying. Again, Aaron Raymond, last week's winner, has to start from the rear of the field. Cannot qualify. So he's going to be one we're going to have to watch tonight. All right, and that wraps up qualifying, ladies and gentlemen. Brian Zimmerman going to be your pole sitter here tonight at USA International Speedway. And as I said, ladies and gentlemen, Brian Zimmerman in the number 28 is going to be on pole tonight with Bill Gross in the number 12 to his outside in second. Chris Carroll is going to be starting in third position in the number 97 with Larry Bell in the 43 to his outside in fourth. Jeff Clifton in the number 1 is going to be starting in fifth with Brandon Mettler in the 15 to his outside in sixth. Tyler Johnson in the number 5 will be starting in seventh with Tanner Marr in the number 4 to his outside in eighth. Chris Sawyer in the number 66 is going to be starting in 9th position with Wesley Whitfield in the 07 starting in 10th. Steven Johnson in that number 13 is going to be starting in 11th with Derek Stanley to his outside in 12th and the number 22. Zach Murphy in the number 29 is going to be starting in 13th with Mitchell Muma in the number 98 starting in 14th. Brody Mears in the 72 is going to be starting in 15th with Michael Wood to his outside in 16th in the number 99. Garrett Crow in the number 38 is going to be starting 17th with Scott Smith in the 53 starting in 18th. Chummy Miller in the 06 is going to be starting 19th with Aaron Raymond in the 68 to his outside in 20th. Kel Butler is going to be in 21st in that number 64 with Chris Paul Hamus in the 14 starting in 22nd. Rounding out the field tonight will be Dustin Lamb in the number 10 starting in 23rd and Jacob Lamb in the 17 starting 24th and Gary Wright in the number 89 starting 25th. 25 late models, 100 laps here at USA International Speedway. It's going to be a good one. I hope y'all are ready because I know I am. These drivers are getting ready to pull off and start heating up them tires, getting ready to go. So first start is going to be on the flagman. Every restart after that will be in the hands of the race leader. Choose cone is in effect here tonight, ladies and gentlemen. We get a caution. They come one to go. They're going to be able to choose which lane they want. Race control giving them one more lap around USA before we go green. Flagman, one finger in the air, one lap to go here. 100 laps. All right, pace car leads him through 3 and 4. It's going to duck on down pit road. Out of turn number 4. Green flag is in the air, and we're underway here at USA. Brian Zimmerman gets a pretty good launch there with Chris Carroll right behind him. They're going to go barreling down into turns 1 and 2. Side by side for second place, side by side for third place. Right now, Chris Carroll's going to slide up in front of the number 12 and take over second spot here on lap 1. Jeff Clifton, though, trying to get around the 12 as well, taking a peek to the inside here in turns 3 and 4. Can't seem to get a run, can't make it happen. Going to slot back in, put Jeff Clifton in 4th place. Larry Bell kind of fell back a little bit as we're under our first caution. The number 98 of Mitchell Muma having problems. Let's go back and see if we can't take a look. All right. Taking a look at that number 98. He's at the top side of the racetrack here, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to go ahead and play it. Comes off of turn 4, just gets loose. Just gets loose and goes around. So, Mitchell Muma bringing out our first yellow flag of the evening tonight. Brian Zimmerman was managed to hold off Chris Carroll there before the caution flag flew. We're on lap 4 of 100. Let's go ahead and shout out MF Racing Designs here. Ladies and gentlemen, if you need a paint scheme on iRacing, go on Facebook and search up MF Racing Designs, and Michael will get you hooked up. We'll be right back. All right, we're back live here at USA International Speedway here on True Sim Productions. Still under caution, waiting for these drivers to come to one to go and get that choose cone. Take a look here. Let's see. Only a couple of guys came down pit road there under this first caution here. Garrett Crowe, Scott Smith, Aaron Raymond, Chris Paul Hamus, all pit on lap 3. Those are the only drivers who decided to come down and top off those tanks. And here we go. There's a choose code. Interesting move here by the number 28 of Brian Zimmerman. He's going to take the top side. That's allowing Chris Carroll to go bottom side, and Bill Gross also going to the bottom, but that allows Brandon Mettler to take the top. And now we've seen in races past that this top side has worked before. If you can manage to hold the guy off coming off the corner, you can maintain that position. So we're going to see what happens here on this restart. Coming to lap 8 of 100 here at USA. Pace car is off. Brian Zimmerman fires them off, and we're back underway. And I tell you what, a great restart there by the number 28. He had the advantage in the outside lane to work to his advantage as well when he goes down into turn 1, has a better entry. Holds on to the lead. Chris Carroll holds on to second. Brandon Mettler is going to hang on to third, and Bill Gross back there in fourth. But under fire from the number 1 of Jeff Clifton right now. Sitting there in fifth. They almost make a little bit of contact right there. Everybody's going to have to stack up. Steven Johnson trying to get around him here, trying to look for a place to go, but nowhere to go. Last time by Chris Carroll, fastest lap of the race thus far at 22.57. There in second place. Tanner Marr back here scraping the wall just a little bit. They almost go 3 wide down into 3 and 4. You got the 72. Brody Mears there in ninth. Tanner Marr stuck on the outside right now, getting pushed back. He is fighting hard on that outside line, but he's going to have to find a way to get down to that inside line very soon, or he's going to get freight trained here. Lap 10 of 100, still a long way to go. But time, these laps will tick off quickly if we get a long green flag run. So Steven Johnson looking to the inside of Brandon Mettler here as we go down into turns 1 and 2. He's got a bumper there. Mettler's going to run way wide. A little bit of right front damage to that number 15 as well. I'm not sure if he scraped the wall or not coming off one of the turns here. But he's definitely got some right front damage to that late model. Steven Johnson's going to go ahead and get around him, put Steven Johnson up inside the top 5. Larry Bell now working on the 15 of Mettler. Back up to the front of the field, it is still Brian Zimmerman. Chris Carroll not too far off him though. It's about a 2/10 gap. And then it's about a second and a half back to third place Bill Gross. And now you got Jeff Clifton up there as well in fourth, trying to get around the number 12. You see him take a peek there in the middle of turns 1 and 2, but just doesn't have the momentum off the corner to get him. Into turns 3 and 4, you see the different lines being ran right there. Bill almost kind of goes in and lets the car drift up a little bit to diamond the corner and straighten off the exit of the corner. Whereas Clifton is just trying to pin it right on that yellow line. Back here, Steven Johnson still holding on to fifth. Larry Bell right behind him. Brody Mears right behind him in that number 72 machine, with Brandon Mettler behind him in eighth. Tanner Marr holds on to the 9th position, and rounding out the top 10 right now is Tyler Johnson in the number 5. Chris Sawyer is in 11th as the 07 of Wesley Whitfield takes a peek to the inside, doesn't make a move just yet. Wesley is sitting in 12th position with Zach Murphy in the 29 right behind him. And Derek Stanley back there in that Tim Hortons number 22. He's sitting in 14th. Scott Smith out here, number 53, hanging on to that 15th position with Chris Paul Hamus, now up 6 spots since the start of this race. Back there in 16th. Aaron Raymond, last week's winner, had to start from the rear of the field. He is in 17th, up 3 spots, and Scott Smith's going to get turned to go around. No caution yet. We stay green, but we're going to get a real quick instant replay to see what happened here. Taking a look at the 53 of Scott Smith and the 14 of Chris Paul Hamus. Let's see if there was contact. There was just a little bit of contact there coming off the corner, and it sent Scott Smith down to the inside wall. Unfortunate that the caution flag did not fly. I'm pretty sure we will get a lap 50 competition caution here, as long as we don't have 3 cautions before lap 50. So far we've had 1. We're coming to lap 20 this time by. So if Scott can go ahead and just hang on here, he's falling back to 22nd. If he can just hang on right here, he can come down pit road when we get that caution, get that thing fixed up. Heavy rear end damage to number 53. We're back up at the front of the field. Brian Zimmerman starting to gap Chris Carroll just a little bit, now up to about 4 or 5 tenths of a second lead over the number 97. Starting to pull away a little bit more. Comparing lap times a little bit, that time by, it was pretty identical. 22.68 for the 28 and a 22.66 for the number 97 of Chris Carroll. Bill Gross back there ran a 22.75, and Clifton behind him a 7.9. So these guys are just a little bit slower than our race leaders. Everybody pretty much single filed out right now. I was hearing the drivers talk earlier before the race. They were saying it was going to be a tough track to pass at. We know it's a bottom feeding racetrack, and you're either going to have to wait for somebody to mess up or give them the bumper to kind of move them up out of the groove to get a run and get the pass made here. Lap 22 of 100, taking a look at the 66 of Chris Sawyer back here in 11, trying to work on the 5 of Tyler Johnson, hanging on to that 10th position. See the gap starting to shrink just a little bit once again. Chris Carroll seems to have figured something out. Has those left side tires all the way down on that yellow line, almost using the apron to turn the race car. And let's look right here. You can kind of see he gets a good run through the center of the corner, but it's almost like Zimmerman gets him coming off the corner right now. Lap 25 of 100, and Chris Carroll 2 tenths behind our race leader. go back to 9th place, Tanner Marr. Looks like he kind of got up out of the groove there just a little bit. Kind of losing time here to the number 72 of Brody Mears at 8th. And now Tyler Johnson is getting ever so closer to that number 4 machine. Looks like we have a few drivers here. The first driver 1 lap down is Gary Wright in the number 89. Then Jacob Lamb ran 18 laps and decided to put it on the hauler. Kel Butler missing the start of the race, unfortunately. We're coming to take a lap 29, ladies and gentlemen. What we're going to do here is everybody's doing a great job having a green flag run. We're going to take a commercial break. We'll be right back.
Shut up and sit down.
With the Butt Kicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Butt Kicker. The future is feeling.
The most realistic online racing sim ever made. This is iRacing. Detailed laser scan tracks, fully dynamic real world cars, and over 50 series to choose from. 6 online world championships offering over $400,000 in annual prizes. This is the original esport racing game. This is iRacing.
iRacing, you wanted the best, you got them 4 abreast. Often imitated, never duplicated. The greatest show on dirt, the World of Outlaws.
right, ladies and gentlemen, we're back live here on True Sim Productions, coming to take lap 40 of 100. Brian Zimmerman still your race leader, 2/10 gap over Chris Carroll in the number 97, but they're starting to catch up to a little bit of lap traffic here. They're going to have to make quick work of them. This might be the chance for Chris Carroll to get around Brian Zimmerman before this competition caution comes out here around lap 50. You see it right here. Chris Carroll's going to take a peek to the inside, going down the first straightaway, thinks better of it, slots back in place. Might use this next lap car as a pick. As you see him, he gets a run right there all over the back bumper of Brian Zimmerman. Got on board here with Chris Carroll in the number 97. You see him get right up to the back bumper of the number 28. He is trying. It's going to be key to have that track position here. Oh, you see Zimmerman kind of pushes up the racetrack a little bit. You see the different lines being ran, and this is a great camera to show that. Coming to take lap 44 of 100 here tonight for the BAM Racing videos. Late model series here on a Wednesday night. Normally Tanner would be in the booth. He is testing some computer stuff going on. He is out on track right now. Back there running in ninth. So hopefully he gets that stuff sorted out. We'll see him in the booth either tomorrow or next week. Lap 45 of 100, Brian Zimmerman has led them all so far. Chris Carroll trying to change that. And he almost had a chance there when they got up to those lap cars, but kind of starting to fall back a little bit. It almost seems like the only chance he's going to get is when Zimmerman's behind that lap traffic and he's in that dirty air as well. Coming to take lap 47. Back in third is still the number 12 of Bill Gross. Got McConey setup shop on pretty much everywhere all over that car. Right behind him you see Jeff Clifton. He was fighting him a little bit there earlier on in this run, but has kind of fallen back a little bit. I'm wondering if maybe Clifton's fighting a tight late model here this evening. Go back a little bit further, Brandon Medler, we saw him start on the high side on that last restart. Now remember, he does have a little bit of front end damage, and you even see the rear of the car got a little bit of a crinkle to that back bumper. Not sure if that's affecting the handling of that race car here tonight. Steven Johnson, though, is right behind him. Now Steven Johnson was up into the 5th position. He has now lost it to Brandon Medler, but holding on to 6th. Got a pretty good gap behind him back to the number 43 of Larry Bell, who is still under pressure from the number 72 of Brody Mears. Let's go back up to the front of the field. Lap 49 of 100. I'm going to take lap 50. We should be seeing a competition caution here shortly, I believe, if I remember the rules correctly for this series. And remember, we had a few drivers come down pit road. We had one on lap 5, but a few on lap 3. One of those drivers being the 68 of Aaron Raymond. Aaron Raymond started in the back of the field last week's winner. Came down pit road on lap 3 during that first caution. Now up 8 spots since the start of this race. Trying to take over that 11th spot from Chris Sawyer. Looks like Chris Sawyer is going to come down pit road. Actually, a few guys coming down pit road. We might be seeing some green flag pit stops going on here. So this is where it's going to kind of play into favor for that number 68. He's already up another 2 positions, sitting there inside the top 10 right now. But he was able to pit on that first caution. He has a little bit more fuel in the tank. So if he goes a little bit longer and we get a yellow flag, as it looks like, was that somebody stuck in the barrels? It is. Brody Mears misjudging pit road. Now finally electing the tow. I'm going to see if I can't get an instant replay on that real quick for you guys. And we can actually see what happens here, too. I know it says the 2 on the side of the car, but he's number 72. So he's trying to come down pit road, and yeah, just misjudges it. Race leaders are on pit road right now. Chris Carroll's come down. Brian Zimmerman is now leaving pit road. Zimmerman pit on lap 53. Let's see if he maintains that race lead. Got a few drivers coming up on him. That'd be Jeff Clifton is one of them. Pit on lap 52, trying to short pit these guys just a little bit. Scott Smith pit on lap 3, still hanging on out there, sitting in 6th. Tyler Johnson is right now the race leader. As you see Jeff Clifton, he is currently a lap down, now gets that lap back. But Tyler Johnson sitting in first. Tyler Johnson has not pit yet. Aaron Raymond, on the other hand, we remember I said he pit on lap number 3. He can probably go a few more laps in these guys. We're going to see what happens. Right now, after Tyler Johnson coming down pit road, that puts Aaron Raymond to the race lead. And Chris Paul Hamas, he was another one of those drivers who pit on lap 3 during that caution. He's now sitting in 2nd, up 20 positions since the start of this race. A little bit of front end damage to that number 14 machine, but hanging on to 2nd right now. Mitchell Muma, also another driver who pit a little late or earlier in the race. Heavy damage to that number 98 machine, but sitting there getting almost kind of shoved up the racetrack there a little bit by Garrett Crow. Kind of fell back in position there. Tanner Marr is just trying to, I believe, get his lap back here. Tanner Marr's back in 13th position. Kind of got his word cut out for him as Aaron Raymond still stays out on the racetrack. Something happened there. I don't know if there was some contact with the wall or something or not, but looks like Tyler Johnson has a little bit of right front damage, that late model as well, sitting there in 12th, where he came out after this pit cycle. Right now, we got a yellow flag. And see, that's exactly what I was talking about. Aaron Raymond now has the advantage. Michael Wood, problems for the number 99. Let's go back and see what happened. I mean, yeah, that's just... See, that's just... Honestly, that to me is just a guy's not paying attention, right? I mean, that's just... He comes out of the pits. He is just trying to merge onto the track. He's there. So... make contact there. It sends those guys around. I don't know, 66, it looks like Chris Sawyer involved as well. Yeah, that is the 66 of Sawyer. Heavy right front damage to that late model. But your race leader, Aaron Raymond, has decided to come down pit road. But see, here's the thing. Mitchell Muma is electing to stay out, and these guys who were probably hoping for a wave around, that's not what they wanted to see. So currently, Mitchell Muma, your race leader. Brian Zimmerman running 2nd after everything is cycled through because Aaron Raymond just came down pit road. Now, he came down pit road. He's also going to have a little bit fresher tires than everybody else because I guarantee you he's going to be taking tires in that number 68 machine. But now going to have to fight his way back up from 6th spot. He's got Mitchell Muma out there in the lead. Brian Zimmerman in 2nd. Chris Carroll back there in 3rd. Jeff Clifton holding on to 4th, and Brandon Metler rounds out your top 5. We're going to take a quick shout out again to MF Racing Designs. We'll be right back. All right, ladies and gentlemen, back live here at USA International Speedway. You see these guys up in front of Mitchell Muma. They are wave-around cars. Tanner Marr, Steven Johnson, a couple of guys who are lucky enough to get a wave-around here. And now we're going 1 to green. See a bunch of guys looking like they're taking the inside. Nobody taking the outside, it looks like, unless they've extended this caution. So see, this is why the choose cone rules are that important. Yeah, so it looks like they had them choose, and now driver's not sure where they're supposed to be. A little bit of confusion there. The lap cars are finally getting out of line. All right, so I think they're getting it sorted out. Looks like they extended the caution by 1 lap here. Mitchell Muma is still your race leader. Brian Zimmerman electing to take the top side. Chris Carroll going to the bottom. And now Muma going up top for whatever reason. Now he's going to the bottom. We gotta pick our lanes immediately. Coming out of turn number 4, fires them off. We're back under green. Lap 66 of 100, taking lap 67. Not a long way to go here in this race. And Brian Zimmerman with a great restart on the high side, trying to take the race lead from the number 98. Is he going to clear him coming off turn number 4? He is. Chris Carroll looking to the inside of Mitchell Muma. Going down the back straightaway. They're going to be side by side for 3rd as they go down into turns 3 and 4. And we're going to be back under the yellow flag. Problems again for the number 66 of Sawyer, involved in another one. Let's go back and see what happened. Oh, already sideways there as he comes off the corner. Might just be a case of getting loose coming off, and that's exactly what it was. Gets loose coming off the corner, overcorrects it, comes back up into traffic, takes out Tanner Marr. Now Tanner Marr's got some pretty good right rear end damage. Oh yeah, look at the left side of that late model. That thing is hurt. Same with the 66 of Sawyer. Unfortunate night there for the 66 and the 4 of Tanner Marr. How about Scott Smith? He's back in this thing, up 13 spots since the start of this race. Got that damage fixed on that late model. Looks like a brand new race car out there, sitting in 5th. So Aaron Raymond was actually able to capitalize a little bit on that restart as well in that number 68. He started around 6th spot, now in 4th. So that strategy kind of worked out for him, and when the caution flew at the right time for him, he was able to come down pit road and not lose a whole lot of track position. Sitting in 4th position right now behind Jeff Clifton at number 1. So about 29 laps to go here at USA International Speedway. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're in the chat, go ahead and put your favorite driver in the chat and who you're rooting for this evening. Shoes cone this time by Brian Zimmerman going to the high side, Carroll to the bottom. Clifton's going to go to the bottom with Raymond going up top. Can Brian Zimmerman get another great restart here? Get back out in that lead and get back in a rhythm and lead these last 28 laps. In the hands of that number 28 machine coming out of turn number 4, fires him off, and we're back underway. Jeff Clifton also back there got a pretty good restart, but Aaron Raymond on that top side got a really good jump. He's going to be side by side with Chris Carroll as they go down into turns 1 and 2. Carroll's going to clear him as they come off turn 2, and now Clifton goes underneath the 68 down the back straightaway. Side by side in turns 3 and 4, Clifton gets around the 68 of Raymond. Put Clifton up in the 3rd. Paul Hamus back there hanging on that top 5 position right now, up 17 spots since the start of this race. And Scott Smith is falling back to 6th, but still having a good run out there in the number 53 machine. Tanner Marr back there. Looks like he got a little loose coming off turn 2. Trying to fight his way through traffic right now. As you see Steven Johnson behind him working on the 38 of Garrett Crow. Looks like we had somebody kind of jump out of line back here. Might have been, not sure who that was. 22, Derek Stanley. Looks like he jumped out of line a little bit, might have gotten a little loose off the corner. Brian Zimmerman, though, still holds on to the race lead. Going to be 25 laps to go this time by for Brian Zimmerman. If he can hold off that number 97 of Chris Carroll, we know Chris Carroll is good in these race cars. But all Zimmerman's got to do is keep his eyes out of the rear view mirror, focus on the track ahead of him, and just get into a rhythm and hang on to this lead. But Chris Carroll's going to take a peek there. Had a pretty good run there through the center of 3 and 4. Now all over the back bumper as they head down into turns 1 and 2. Trying to make something happen, but just can't seem to do it. Jeff Clifton doing a good job holding on to that 3rd position. Now Aaron Raymond, it looks like the tires have finally heated up since he took them on that last pit stop. Now trying to get around that number 1. You see him all over the back bumper as they head into turns 1 and 2 through the center of the corner. It looks like Clifton has a better run through the center and off the corner versus Raymond, who has a good run into the corner. See it right there. You see the gap kind of comes down just a little bit. It looks like we had a little bit of a internet lag spike ourselves there, ladies and gentlemen. I do apologize for that. So throw a blanket over your top four pretty much. You see Clifton trying to get to the back bumper of Carroll. Carroll fighting really hard right now, trying to get around Brian Zimmerman. 21 laps to go this time by. Good race up here near the front. Chris Valheim is still holding on to that 5th position, but here comes Brandon Mettler. We know Mettler's been fast all night, but still has that right front damage on that 15 machine. Again, we're not sure if that's affecting that race car. Could have knocked the toe out of it a little bit, smacking the wall. Scott Smith is falling back to 7th now. Larry Bell right behind him in 8th. Steven Johnson has fought his way back up inside the top 10. After having to take that wave around there under that last caution, he was one of those drivers who got caught a lap down when that caution flew. Back up to the front, look at the run. Chris Carroll gets to the center of the corner. Clifton and Raymond back there still duking it out as well. When they cross the stripe this time, it's going to be 18 laps to go. Oh, Clifton gets out of the groove a little bit. He's going to hang on that right rear quarter panel on the number 68, trying to hang on to it. Clifton now loses that spot to Aaron Raymond. Looks like I don't know if he got bumped out of the groove or if he might have just overshot the corner a little bit, but definitely got out of the groove there and allowed the 68 to capitalize on it, put him up into 3rd. Brian Zimmerman, though, holding on to the race lead, doing a great job right now, but Chris Carroll doing everything he can, trying to get around him. 17 laps to go. Going to be 16 when they cross the stripe. Down the front straightaway. These guys have been putting on a great show all night long. And Zimmerman doing a really great job with a little bit of a crinkle there on the right front fender of that number 28. You can see it when he comes out of turn number 4 here. You see it right there, a little bit of a crinkle. Chris Carroll's just all over the back bumper. See, here's the thing though, if they start racing each other, that's going to allow Aaron Raymond to catch up to him. Then we're going to have a 3-way battle for the lead. Oh, Zimmy gets a little loose coming off turn 4. Or 2, I'm sorry, that was turn 2. Great battle for the race lead with 14 laps to go. It looks like Tanner Marr brought his late model down pit road. Problems for the number 4. These guys, you see Aaron Raymond starting to catch them. A little bit better tires on that number 68 machine. Battle starting to heat up here with 13 laps to go. When they cross the stripe this time, it will be 12. Chris Carroll all over the back bumper of Brian Zimmerman. And now put Aaron Raymond all over the back bumper of Chris Carroll. We got a great battle for the win going on here with 12 laps to go. Like Raymond might have pushed a little tight there, probably given everything that late model's got. Taking a look at the 97 of Carroll though, still trying. It looks like he's almost waiting for Zimmerman to make another mistake. We saw Zimmerman get a little loose coming off turn 2 a couple laps ago. Right there, you see him getting up out of the groove just a little bit, and Carroll's going to take a peek, but not make a move just yet. 10 laps to go. Down the back straightaway, you see Aaron Raymond has gotten back into his rhythm once again. Is now back on the back bumper of Chris Carroll. So another 3-way battle going for the race lead and the race win right now. It's going to be 9 laps to go. These guys are running out of time. Brian Zimmerman just got to keep his eyes forward right now. Not worry about what's going on behind him. Stay in that rhythm. 9 more laps. He'll be a race winner. Carroll taking a peek coming out of turn 2 once again, but doesn't have the momentum. Down into 1 and 2. 8 laps to go. This is a great battle going on right now. I know they're single file, but you know these guys are driving their hearts out right now, trying to get everything they can out of these late models. Chris Carroll's finally going to take a peek, gets loose coming off turn 4. I'm surprised Raymond didn't capitalize on that. They are bumper to bumper here. 7 laps to go. Down the back straightaway. Chris Carroll's taking a peek. Oh, he's going to pinch him down. Great side-by-side racing here in turn 3 and 4. Looks like Zimmerman's going to get loose. They're going to make contact on the front straightaway. Oh, that gave Carroll heavy right front damage along with Brian Zimmerman. 6 laps to go. Chris Carroll manages to get around Brian Zimmerman, but man, he's got some heavy right side damage to that car. But 5 more times around and Chris Carroll can win this thing. I don't know if Zimmerman's going to be able to catch back up to him. Now we're just watching to see if Zimmerman can hang on to that second spot. You got Raymond all over the back bumper of him. And that's Aaron Raymond. Gives him a little bit of the bumper there in 1 and 2. Zimmerman's trying to hold on to it. Getting loose like that probably overheated those rear tires. He's probably still trying to cool them down here. Coming to the stripe, 3 laps to go. Chris Carroll pretty much pulling away right now, about a 6, 7 tenths gap. So we're watching the battle for second. Gives him another shot there, lets him know he's there. I don't think Zimmerman's going to let him go easily. Coming out of turn number 4, popsicle sticks in the air for Chris Carroll. 2 laps to go. Here comes Jeff Clifton, too. Clifton's starting to catch up to these guys. He might be able to get himself a podium here. So Chris Carroll's coming out of turn number 4. It's going to be white flag in the air for the number 97. We're watching the battle for second. Brian Zimmerman trying to hang on to it. Aaron Raymond trying to get it. Down the back straightaway for the final time. Zimmerman's going to block to the low side. Raymond's going to take a peek to the top. And here comes Clifton. Gets checked up a little bit. Clifton's going to take a peek to the inside of Raymond. Drag race for third. Give Clifton getting 3rd place right at the line. Great job, Jeff Clifton. Brian Zimmerman hanging on to second. Chris Carroll, though, is going to be a race winner here tonight. This winning moment has been brought to you by SavageEdge.com. They'll put your name on anything and go get yourself a True Sim Productions t-shirt while you're there. Chris Carroll's burning it down. These guys are going to have to go through post-race inspection. So we're going to take a commercial break. When we come back, post-race interviews. Stick around.
and sit down.
And we're back live, ladies and gentlemen, and we're actually catching up with our third place finisher, and that's the number 1 of Jeff Clifton. Wasn't sure if you were going to be able to get it there, Jeff, but right at the line, managed to get around Raymond. Kind of walk me through your race there.
Yeah, that finish was that was interesting. I didn't think I could have got up there without some sort of help. I think Raymond probably took 4 tires there under green flag pit stops. I only took 2. But without that mix up there with Carol and Zimmy and Raymond, and it allowed me to catch back up to them. And once that happened, I started pushing a little harder. And I think Zimmy probably, with that incident that he had with Carol, his tires got used up a little bit, and he was holding Raymond up, and that allowed me to try and capitalize on that. But yeah, that last corner pass, that was fun. That was a fun race.
Yeah, kind of walk me through what happened there on that last corner. We saw Raymond kind of get in the back bumper of the 28. I kind of want to know what you saw out of your front windshield.
Man, I was just going for it. I was hoping that I could get to Raymond going into 3 and kind of give him a push and wash him up and pass him. But I guess he got into Zimmy there, and he washed up a little bit. That allowed me to push up underneath him coming out of 4, and I had the momentum, and it just pulled me to 3rd place. So we're really happy with that.
Yeah, man, coming home in 3rd tonight. It's a great finish for the number 1. Who do you got to thank?
Well, got to thank True Sim Productions. They, you guys do broadcasts almost every night of the week, I think. You guys are busy.
Close to it.
Yeah, I like to watch them too. It's a nice product. It's clean. It's easy to follow, and the broadcast, the commentators are clear and concise with their announcing. So that's one of the most important things for the broadcast. I think I see too many out there with people that kind of like mumble their way through the race, and I really like the way that you guys broadcast. So we appreciate that. And then we got BAM Racing Videos, I think it's called. Let's see, USA Firearms, and obviously all the admins here at Crooked Line. They do a ton of work day in and day out to give us a league to race in. They try to make it fun for us all, and they try to run it efficiently. And, I think they do a good job given the circumstances.
All right, man. Well, hey, congratulations on that 3rd place finish. We'll see you again next week.
Yeah, appreciate it.
That was your 3rd place finisher, Jeff Clifton, in the number 1 machine. Now we're catching up with 2nd place finisher, and that's Brian Zimmerman. Now, Brian, a little maybe mistake on your part there. We saw you get loose coming out of turn 4, and you and Carol made contact. Kind of walk me through those closing laps.
Yeah, man, it was a good race. A lot of fun, a lot of clean racing out there tonight. Lots of green flags, long runs, so that was great. On the pass, Chris got a nose under me coming out of 2 down the back straight, and I didn't want to chop his nose. I knew he was there coming through. I tried to squeeze him. I squeezed him pretty low. Was trying to hold him down there, and then coming off of 4, I was doing everything I could to hold him down and get a run down the front straightaway. Just got loose. Almost wrecked us both. That's definitely would have been awful. But me and Chris have done that a lot here, racing like that. So very rarely do we make contact. I'm just glad that I didn't wreck him and take him out of the win, because he'd run me clean all race long. Last thing I wanted to do was wreck him there with 2 laps to go.
So did you think you could have held him off there, or were you expecting him to kind of put the bumper to you there at the closing laps?
I didn't. I thought he might put the bumper to me, but we've been racing a long time, and we usually do our best not to put the bumper to each other when we're racing for the win. So I'd have been surprised if he'd have put it to me, but it would have been fair game. I mean, we're fair game there with 25 to go. It's every man for himself, and there would have been no hard feelings if he had. But he didn't have to. He's fast enough that he didn't have to do it. He got me coming out of 2, had a nose on me. The only thing I could have probably done different is chopped his nose, but I don't like to race that way. If I'd have chopped his nose, he'd have hit the brakes to keep from wrecking me because he's a clean driver, and I didn't want to win that way. He made a good move out of 2. He deserved the win, so I wasn't going to chop his nose.
All right, man. Well, hey, congratulations on that second place finish. You got a shout out on that number 28.
Well, I'd like to thank Pit Lizard Boys to let me run with them tonight. That's always fun running with them in this league. Thank you for doing the broadcast, and I'd like to thank Jason Raymond for this new paint job I had tonight. He did a good job on that, so I appreciate him doing that for us. Just thank all the guys at Crooked Line for putting on this show. Tanner Marr especially. I know he puts up a lot of money out of his pocket and a lot of time and effort, so we thank him for all he does for the league.
All right, man. Well, like I said, congratulations on second place, and we'll see you again next week.
Hey, shout out to my brother-in-law, Andrew, Samantha, and my nephew, Brody. They're watching tonight, and also my wife upstairs. Love her.
All right, man. We'll let you get back down with your team. Go celebrate that second place finish.
Thank you, bud.
That was driver number 28, Brian Zimmerman. Hard-fought race. Not going to lie. Led most of this thing, but coming home just a little short here this evening. Making contact with the number 97, but coming home with the win, even with a tore-up race car, is the number 97 of Chris Carroll. And Chris, we saw you make contact there. We heard Zimmerman's story. We want to hear your side of it. What'd you see?
We were racing hard for the lead, and I think he just got loose up off the corner. I'm not 100% sure. We were really going at it, though. It was a lot of fun, and I think that's all that happened. I think he got in the gas super hard, and I don't blame him. We were inches from each other there, so just hard racing, man. It happens.
Well, still, I mean, did that damage affect your car there in the closing laps? I mean, it looked like you started pulling away once you got it out in clean air.
Yeah, I don't think I had clean air the whole race. When I got out front, I actually felt loose, and I'd felt tight most of the race. So I think the clean air maybe helped me out. That car, maybe the damage made me loose. I'm not sure, but I don't know how damaged. I saw them make contact in my mirror too, so I don't know. They might have had damage too, but it didn't feel too bad out there. It just felt a little more free than it did before.
It's kind of amazing because when we saw you guys make contact, it looked like the right side of your car was almost destroyed for the most part. It had a rubber donut and everything on the side of it. But
I could see my fender.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You guys made some pretty good contact, and you guys did a great job keeping it straight, keeping it under the green flag. But coming home with another race win tonight, man, who you got to shout out on the number 97?
Well, I always got to thank Brian Zimmerman at USAFirearms.com. He powers all our cars out here, all the Pit Lizard boys. And got to thank you guys at TSP and Tanner for putting in all the hard work, man. He's been working real hard on some stuff. So really appreciate Tanner and you guys for giving us a platform to do it. And I got to thank all my friends and family that watch and all my teammates and all those guys out there that run me clean every week, Sam. It's a lot of fun doing what we love to do, man. It's a lot of fun out there racing with those guys, and a lot of fun banging doors with Brian Zimmerman out there. He's a heck of a teammate and a great guy, and he wouldn't have it any other way.
All right, man. Well, hey, congratulations here on another win. We'll see you next week.
Thanks, Sam. I'm going to shout out to my dad out there. He's not feeling very well. He's been sick all week. If I can sneak one in there and then get out of your hair.
Nah, absolutely. Shout out to Chris's dad. All right, man. We'll catch you next week, buddy.
Thanks, sir.
And that was race winner Chris Carroll. And ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for us here on a Wednesday night. Tanner Marr hopefully will be back in the booth tomorrow night. Like I said, having some PC issues, not a big deal. It happens to the best of us. Wrong race results. There we go. Your race results are up on screen, ladies and gentlemen. So tomorrow night, Crooked Line is going back onto the dirt. So tune in tomorrow, 8:45 p.m. Eastern time, and we will see you there. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. Great racing tonight overall by everybody. We'll see you again in the next one. Have a good one, everybody.